5 square root of 3 cotangent of x plus 5 is equal to 0. And they're basically asking you to solve this from scratch. So we're going to solve this guy. And I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides. And I'm going to divide both sides by 5 radical 3. I'm going to get the cotangent of x is equal to negative 1 over radical 3. Problem is this is cotangent, so I don't really want cotangent. I think I better think of it as tangent. So tangent of negative square root of 3 over 1. And I'm going to go to unit circle-y time. And you can do it directly from cotangent as well if you're more comfortable with that. And so what quadrants have a negative tangent? And that would be this quadrant and this quadrant. Now I have an opposite leg, which is the square root of 3. This one's negative, that one's positive, and the adjacent leg is 1. Oops, that's not a leg. This is a leg. That one's negative, that one's positive. And so what angle would that be? Well, right now this angle this side is not 1 because this is greater than the number 1, so it can't be 1. So how do I make that into a 1? Well, if you know these triangles very well, we can essentially do this. If I divide this by 2, well, I know that I can do the following. I can divide this by 2, and I can divide this by 2, and easily identify that this is pi over 3. My reference angle is pi over 3. And this reference angle is also pi over 3. But if you're not certain how I came up with, oh, just divide it by 2, and it comes out to one of my nice angles, if I want to figure out what this third side is, I can use the Pythagorean theorem. So the square of a leg plus the square of a leg is equal to the length of the hypotenuse squared. So this square root of 3 squared is 3, plus negative 1 squared, which is 1, which means this is 4, which means my hypotenuse is equal to the square root of 4, which is 2. So that means the length of these two hypotenuses are 2. So I'm not in unit circle, I'm in like a double unit circle, or circle of radius 2. So that's how I know that I'm going to divide this by 2 to turn it into the unit circle, which means I have to divide all the 3 sides by 2, so I can get a similar triangle in a smaller circle. And then I recognize radical 3 over 2 and 1/2 as values in leg lengths of my 30, 60, 90. And so the answers to this problem are x equals 2 pi over 3, which is this angle, and what's that, 5 pi over 3? That's the guy in the fourth quadrant. Okay? So those are my solutions for that one.